Today, I forked up by not getting a house inspection before buying my home. I was looking for a new place to live and found a house that seemed perfect. It had plenty of space and was listed at a price that was just within my budget. The only problem was the seller received multiple offers, and to make mine more competitive, I waived the inspection contingency. The first few months were uneventful, but then things started to go wrong. During a heavy rainstorm, I noticed water dripping from the ceiling. The roof was leaking. I had to call a roofer to repair the damage, which was not cheap. The electrical started to malfunction shortly after. Lights would flicker on and off, and breakers would flip frequently. I had to call an electrician to diagnose the problem. It turned out the previous owner did some DIY electrical work that wasn't up to code. I had to pay even more money to fix it and make it safe. I tried to get the seller to pay, but since I waived the inspection, I had no legal recourse. I wish I had gotten inspection before buying the house. Now I'm stuck with a money pit. Today I forked up by trying to fix my own plumbing issue. I noticed that my sink was draining slowly, so I decided to fix it myself. I had never done any plumbing work before, but I figured it couldn't be that hard. I watched a few DIY videos online about how to unclog a sink and felt confident I could handle it. I bought a snake from Lowe's and got to work. At first everything was going smoothly. I fed the snake down the drain and I was able to pull out a few clumps of gunk. But then, things took a turn for the worse. As I was trying to pull the snake back out, I realized it was stuck. I pulled and tugged, but it wouldn't budge. Panic set in as I realized that snake was completely tangled up in the pipes. I tried everything to free it, but it was no use. I had to call a plumber to come and fix my mistake. Not only did I have to pay a hefty fee for the repairs because of my botched fix, but I also had to endure the embarrassment of screwing up. The plumber was able to fix the issue, but he warned me that had I waited any longer, the clog could have caused serious damage to my pipes. I realized that I put myself in a precarious situation by trying to do something beyond my skill level. From now on, I'll leave the plumbing work to the professionals. Today I forked up by getting drunk and causing a scene at a friend's wedding. I attended a wedding with my wife and bumped into my ex-girlfriend Allie, who I hadn't seen in a while. She looked stunning, but something caught my eye. Her chest seemed to have gotten bigger. I couldn't help but stare and wonder if she had gotten implants, as she'd always been sensitive about the size of her chest. In my drunken state, I decided to ask her about it. Allie denied it, and we ended up getting into an argument in front of everyone. My wife, Allie's best friend, and her partner all witnessed the embarrassing scene. I kept pressing the issue, causing Allie to reveal through tears that she was actually pregnant and had wanted to keep it a secret. The groom had to step in and ask me to leave, and now everyone, including my wife, thinks I'm a total jerk. I regret my behavior, and now I feel terrible about ruining the wedding. I think I'm going to skip the open bar next time. Today, I forked up by procrastinating on an important school project. I had a whole month to work on it, but kept putting it off. Before I knew it, the project was due the next day, and I had nothing to turn in. I panicked and stayed up all night trying to finish it, but it was too late. The consequences of my procrastination were severe. I received a failing grade on the project, which caused me to fail the class. My parents were furious. They had been paying for my college education, but they decided to stop paying as a result of my irresponsibility. I had to drop out. My girlfriend, who went to the same college, broke up with me shortly after. I had to move back home with my parents and get a job at McDonald's. I had to work long hours on my feet and deal with difficult customers. Looking back, I realized that procrastination was just a way to avoid taking responsibility and facing my fears. Now I know the only way to achieve success is through hard work and dedication. Today, I forked up by trusting a friend from school with a secret that I shouldn't have. I had been going through a tough time and confided in my friend about a personal issue trying to overcome an obsession with wearing diapers. At the time, my friend seemed supportive and understanding. They listened to me and offered words of encouragement. A few days later, I heard a rumor circulating around school about my obsession with wearing diapers. How did anyone else know about it? My friend was the one who had betrayed my trust. They had shared my secret with others, and now it was out in the open for everyone to know. The consequences were devastating. I felt violated, embarrassed, and alone. I even lost some of my closest friends who didn't want to be associated with me. The worst part was that I couldn't escape the situation. It followed me wherever I went. Looking back, I realized that I trusted someone who didn't deserve it. But the experience taught me to only confide in those who have really earned my trust. And while the consequences of my friend's betrayal were devastating, I learned that I could survive it. Today I forked up by getting tested to donate a kidney to my wife. My wife and I have been married for 6 years and have 2 children together. After our son was born, my wife became sick and now needs a kidney transplant. We checked with her relatives, but none were a match or a viable donor. So I decided to get tested, knowing it would be a long shot. To my surprise, the doctor informed me that I was a match, but the results showed my wife and I have an abnormally high match percentage. It turns out that we are related, and not distantly. I was put up for adoption before I was born, and my adopted family moved across the country. We didn't have any information about my biological family because it was a closed adoption. I met my wife by chance while on a work trip, and we became close. I was able to transfer to her area for a higher paying position, and the rest is history. I am 2 years older than my wife, and she was born when her parents were late teens. The situation has left me feeling upset and confused about what to do next. How do I tell my kids?